Hello and a warm welcome to News Across Nigeria. This is where we endeavor to bring you news and information from the 36 states of the Federation, crisscrossing the 6 geopolitical zones. I am Olumide Macaulay. Thank you for joining us. And we begin in the south of the country. The World Bank loan, approved by the Senate for Edo State, is one that has generated several controversy, especially from the opposition group, the PDP, in the state. In this report, our correspondent looks at the debt profile of Edo State, what the initial loan was used for, and what the new loan intends to achieve.
The World Bank report says it approved Edo State loan because spending plans were within the ability of the state to raise revenue and to keep debts within acceptable limits. But the PDP disagrees.
A lot of apprehensions have been raised, and outrightly, the people have said they don't want the loan.
Despite opposition, the Senate approved the loan, raising more concerns from the PDP.
In 25 or 30 years' time, with the way the government is going today, the APC government going today, that since they came into government, the naira has been receiving a lot of bashing to the extent we're now buying dollar at 221. If they carry on for another 4 years, the dollar might end up at 400 naira to 1. 400 naira times $75 million, that is close to 200 or 300 billion naira. You know? So these are the issues we are worried about.
The facts from the Debt Management Office puts Edo domestic debts as at 2013 at 48 billion naira, in the same league as Osun and Plateau states. The big borrowers being Lagos, Rivers, Akwa Ibom, Cross River, and Delta states. Edo's external debts is $123.1 million, and Lagos State $1.17 billion. Governor Shumule says these figures are even now lower.
The only loan we have had from the World Bank was 75. The rest was borrowed by previous PDP governments. It's a continuous. That is no money borrowed by this government. We had a bond of $25 billion, out of which we have paid over 20 billion. We have less than 5 billion on our bonds.
But have these translated to projects?
We got a facility at 1%, with a 20-year spread. And that worries them. And we are not taking it to pay salaries. We are not taking it to pay pension. We are taking it to work.
While opposition continues to mount on the loan, some of those who benefited from the fallout of previous loan differ.
For you do well for my body. You do well, you not let my house fall for God.
The APC government and the opposition PDP in Edo State agree on one subject, which is the development of the state, and it is hoped that this will be achieved in the long run.
Whether you're from the north or the south, east or the western parts of the country, this next story could affect all Nigerians depending on what you're doing. More mobile phone users are being disconnected as the deadline given to telecoms operators in the country to ratify their database expires. Now, the head, Compliance, Monitoring and Enforcement Unit, NCC, Efosa Edehe, said this at a press briefing in Lagos. He also said that defaulting operators will now be made to face the necessary penalties for non-compliance, with directives given them as the drive to ensure safer telephony in the country gets a notch higher.
Came into Lagos to check compliance to that directive. And we visited all the major network operators, mobile network operators, and we have found varied degrees of compliance. And I'm going to talk to that briefly. Because of the challenges that we've had on SIM card, because once they finish registration, they are supposed to send those registration details to our back end in Abuja head office of NCC, where we have the database. And we have scrubbed and cleaned the data, and the ones that didn't meet the specification, we have sent back since September 2014 to all the concerned service providers. And I will give you the various numbers that we sent to the service providers. One, for them to clean up those data, call back the people who were wrongly registered, that is, they didn't have the valid information as specified in the specification, so that they can come back and re-register and put their information in the database.
You're watching news across Nigeria. Now, in Ogun State, the sacking of some educationists has caused quite some furore between SERAP and the Ogun State government over that particular development. Details in just a moment. Please stay with us.